Dephemerember, December 10th. You know how this works. Let's jump right in. Welcome, it's Barbara from Vienna, Austria. If you're completely lost, please check the Dephemerember info page linked below this video for more information about this fun prompt challenge put together by my dear friend Luise Heinzl and myself. I'm ready to go. I hope you are too. Let's jump right in. December 10th, altered pocket and texture fragments. I love this prompt because I love adding different textures and layers to my journal. So this is right up my alley. Super happy with this one. So an altered pocket should be a pocket that we're going to alter. So I'm not going to create a new pocket. You can if you want to, but I read this prompt as it should be a pocket that already exists that I'm going to alter. So my idea was to take a jeans pocket. I have several options because I like buying jeans from charity shops, from flea markets. I can usually find a pair for 1 or 2 euros. So I love having these on hand. I love using jeans in some of my journals. So this would be one option. And we also have this one from the same jeans. This is actually from the jeans from which I use the material to make Luise's Dephemerember journal. So this would even be extra meaningful that we have parts from the same jeans in both of our Dephemerember journals. Then I have this one, which is already full of paint. I will explain why in a moment. And then I have this one, which is already cut out, as well as these two. These are a bit tricky to use inside a journal, I think, because these jeans buttons are always super bulky. So I think these might be better suited for a cover, this one as well. And this one probably as well. So I've already decided I'm going to use this one. And I had already cut out a rectangle for a different project and I ended up not using it. But getting back to this one, it's covered in paint because I used this one for some jelly plate printing. And I figured if you don't have jeans to work with, but like the look, maybe you want to check out the jelly plate prints that I made with these and other parts of jeans. You can see the cover page right here. And yes, of course, I have a goodie for you. So I have a discount code for this particular kit for minus 50% until the end of January 2025. So you can find that kit linked below. And as always, please note the discount code because you will not find that in the description box. Since we're going to be adding more textures to the journaling page and to the pocket probably, I want to eliminate as much bulk from this as possible. So that means I want to cut this pocket off of the back here. I wish I could just use like a seam ripper, but I don't think that's gonna work. Because I don't want to open this seam actually, because I like having that there. Although I could re-sew that, couldn't I? Maybe that would be the best thing. That wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It was actually quite quick. So I have my pocket here. And it's a lot less bulky than with all this additional material, of course. So I think I want to add 2 more holes on either side so that we can see more through it. And then, of course, I want to fray those edges. I think it works best using the blade of the scissors. So you could do the same thing with a paper version, of course. You can cut your slits and then distress the edges, ink them up. Next, I want to add some more interest onto the pocket. And I want to do that by adding some stenciling. I think these distressed words and numbers are perfect. This stencil has the number THS051. And I'm going to use this acrylic spray. It's a satin matte white acrylic paint spray. I'm going to do this outside on my balcony because this really smells very, very strongly. Alternatively, if you don't have a spray like this, you can stencil onto your fabric with acrylic paint, just using a stippling brush. So a brush like this that has like a flat top, so you can easily just put the paint through like this, or maybe even a sponge brush, whatever you usually use for stenciling. And I would use a stencil which is not too detailed. If you do it with the acrylic paint and with a brush, make sure you don't have too much paint on your brush. So that didn't go as planned. I don't know why it didn't work, because I've done this in the past and it has worked. So no idea. So it's gray now. So to compare, this is what it was before. And this is what it is now. So let me put my money where my mouth is, and we'll try the stenciling version with the stippling brush. And I thought about whether I should do it maybe in black on the white, but that's too harsh for me. So I think I'll just use titanium white, and we'll see how that goes. I really want the lucky there. Or do I? Maybe I want the lucky here. Yeah, let's put it here. So the important thing when using acrylic paint through a stencil with your stippling brush is not to go into the stencil like this. That will create blobs. So you want to take a paper towel and get rid of a lot of the paint so that it looks something like this. Maybe that's even still too much. Yeah, like this. Now I know this works on paper. Hopefully this will work on jeans as well. And I'm not just moving my brush up and down. I'm actually also moving it a little bit sideways. Much better. Who needs an acrylic spray? We don't. I think I just used too much paint. That now went under the stencil. That's the problem. Yeah, look. I still hope we can read this afterwards. Really, the less paint, the better for this. Okay, we can still read that. So I'll just keep adding more stenciling in some of the areas. And I dried this in between so that I don't smear it while I keep adding some stenciling.
When December begins, crafting makes nights long. We come together where we belong. With paper and glue, our hearts we render, crafting joy in Dephemerember.
So this isn't too bad. It definitely could have been worse. I want to add a little more, let's call it grunge. I'll try it with this stamp. This is by Crafty Individuals and has the number CI116. And Crafty Individuals are in the UK. So I'll take my black archival ink, so that's permanent ink, and see if we can get some of these cracks on here as well. Not sure if we'll see them well. Oh, actually, when you look closely, do you see that? That's pretty cool. I wish it was a little darker, but I like it.
Dephemerember, where hearts unite, With every piece we shine so bright across the world.
I didn't want to put it over the white stenciling, but yeah, you can see it. That is pretty cool. So what do we do with these slits? It would be nice to put something underneath. I'm very torn between three options. One would be to use this gray, is it lace? I don't know, it's some kind of a mesh. That could look cool and we can still see through it a little bit. It's very tone in tone. Then I have this lace. And I think it would also look cool to not have the slits covered completely, but just in the middle. I like that idea as well. And thirdly, something completely different would be to add some acetate packaging behind it, which would make it completely see-through. And what I like about this one is the contrast of something cold and shiny and warm and soft denim fabric. I think I'll go for this one. And instead of just having it clear, let's try adding some alcohol ink. This is butterscotch. This is again something I don't use very often. I'm not sure even yet that I like this very dark yellow together with my pocket. I will have to let this dry. I mean, alcohol ink dries very quickly because obviously I cannot use my heat tool. This is a super weird design. What is this? This looks super weird. Oh, but at the same time, it's very interesting. I also have caramel alcohol ink, which is nearly the same color. I know Luise is going to disagree. Actually, it's very much darker. I take it back, Luise. Luise is going to call me on the phone as soon as she sees this. She's going to say, what? What do you mean they're similar? There's nothing similar about them. Okay, Luise. I've added so much of the caramel that we can hardly see the butterscotch anymore. But I just have to say, experimenting like this is so much fun. These are things I really would not do without the Dephemerember prompts. And this is what makes it so much fun, because this is how we learn. That looks pretty funky, doesn't it? I like it. So this is dry. And let's try the same crackling stamp. Again, using the permanent ink to stamp over that. I can imagine that would look pretty cool. Oh yeah. So let me cut this apart.
Creating together forevermore. From simple scraps to colors bold, we wrap our stories into gold. Each prompt a spark, a joyful ember, bringing warmth and Dephemerember. Dephemerember, where hearts unite.
I've already picked out a page in the journal for my pocket, which is this one right here. We still need to add the textured fragments, which is what I want to add to the background. And the piece I want to use for the fragments is this here, which was part of the scraps that Luise sent me. I don't see myself using this image, even though it's a cute one, but it's not me at all. And this is a beautiful canvas. So let's alter this canvas so that we can use it as a background for this pocket. The first layer I want to add is tea bags. I love collecting these. I drink a lot of tea. I also have these here. So I have plenty, but I'll stick to these because I've already emptied those out and taken them apart. And for this, I'm going to use my matte medium. This is a very smooth, very liquid one by Liquitex. I think a more liquid one is easier when you're working with such thin materials as tea bags. Never done this before either, to adhere tea bags to a fabric, but why not? I'm going to choose different shades of tea bags because I think that looks really great if we vary the colors. Do I know what's going to happen next? Nope. No idea, but I plan on figuring that out once I have my tea bags down and I see what this looks like. I really admire people who have everything planned out till the end without even knowing what it looks like in between. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't do that. I need to see the things before I can decide what to do next. Let me know if you can relate or if you have everything already planned out in your head at the beginning of a project. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it. Everybody has their own methods. The most important thing is that it works for you and that you have fun.
With every piece we shine so bright. Across the world our spirits soar, creating together forevermore. We share our dreams, our smiles.
So this is dry and I'm totally in love with it. There's so many things you could do with a piece like this. It's so beautiful on its own. It could be a journal page, just like that. Next, I want to add some stamping. I'm going to use this one here from this stamp set by Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz called Note Quotes CMS 463. I will link these for you below. I love these squares and the circles. They are super versatile. Again, I will use my black archival ink. And then I'm going to stamp these as randomly as for a perfectionist possible. If you wanted a similar shape, but don't have the stamp, I think you could easily use like a black Sharpie marker and just draw your own squares. How cool does this look? It's so quick and easy to do, and I think it just looks fabulous.
Building bonds that last for years. Through every craft, yours and mine.
I want this to have a little more texture, so I'm going to also take this to my sewing machine and sew around a little bit. So I stitched around it once and then I added some more squares, or they're more rectangles. It's very hard to see. Maybe you can see it better here. So I've added these here. I love this. I just want to keep it as it is, but I can't. Since the prompt requires fragments, let's cut this one up. I have no idea if my guillotine is going to be able to cut this. Let's see. Yeah, it had a good start. I guess we better do this by hand.
We find love in this special time.
Okay, these are fragments, I would say. So now I'll adhere these to my page, overlapping them a little bit, and I really hope that I have enough pieces. I know the piece of canvas was larger than my page, but we have to overlap these pieces. That's why I'm not sure.
As scissors cut and colors flow, our community continues to grow. With each creation, love we render, binding us close in Dephemerember. Dephemerember.
She's so cute. I'm so thrilled to have the original in here. I can't believe Luise gave me her original. It's crazy. She's so cute. Dephemerember me. I don't think I saw that when I flipped through it the first time. It's so cute, yes. The Snow Woman from last Dephemerember. Loving this page. And look, we even have some left over to add to the scraps at the end for one of you to win. So the pocket will go here and we can see the design through. It's actually a shame to have so much of the background covered up by this large pocket. What if we angle it like this so that at least we see a little more of the background here, and then this bit here sticks out, which is fine. It actually works really well with her hair. Same color. Let's do it.
Across the world our spirits soar, creating together forevermore.
I want to make sure I'm not too close to the edge here, otherwise it will be hard to close the book or to turn the page. I don't really want to add anything else here, and I also don't want to add anything in here because I will be very happy to have an extra pocket when I have a piece of ephemera that I want to add. But one thing I do want to add is, since we have this sticking out here, why not add a dangle to that? So I'll punch a hole. This top part here is too thick, so I'll punch it here. And then I'll add a piece of this ball chain. And the charms I chose are a little dragonfly to symbolize me and a butterfly to symbolize dear Luise, because Luise uses a lot of butterflies, even more so than I do. And of course, 49 Dragonflies is the dragonfly. And I love adding these to this particular page, if I can manage, because we both now have a part of the same jeans in our journal as a pocket. Okay, these jump rings are too small. I'll have to add bigger jump rings. There we are. Luise, you're with me forever in this journal. But you are anyway, in my heart. You know that. It's always fun to have some dangly bits on your pages, isn't it? So I think this was a quick one for you. Not so much for me, because there was a lot I was doing that would have been boring to film or to not speed up for you. I guess the idea is simple, but it doesn't always have to be complicated, does it? So we're halfway through the week already, and I hope to see you back here tomorrow for December 11th. Have fun with this prompt. Love you guys. Mwah, mwah.